Hi there, welcome back. 2026 can be the year you finally stop wasting it. Every January, millions of people write lists, make promises, and chase motivation. For a few days, they feel unstoppable. But then the rush fades, the calendar moves forward, and life returns to the same patterns. The truth is simple. Time is not short, but we waste much of it in distraction, excuses, and self-deception. This year does not need another resolution. It needs a revolution inside your mind. The Stoics taught that freedom is not found in circumstances, but in mastery of the self. Discipline is not born from hype, but from clarity. Clarity cuts through confusion, exposes the lies we tell ourselves, and gives us the courage to act. 2026 can be the year you start from zero, not with noise, but with structure. Not with promises, but with principles. Not with luck, but with conscious decisions. So let's get started. Lesson 1. Face reality. Every true transformation begins not with dreams, but with clarity. The Stoics insisted that before you can direct your life, you must first see it as it is. This is the uncomfortable starting point. Facing reality without excuses, without decoration, without lies. Most people fail not because they lack ambition, but because they refuse to look honestly at where they stand. They write lists, set goals, and imagine change, but beneath the surface they avoid the truth. They spend more than they earn, postpone what matters, lose emotional control, and then wonder why progress never arrives. Clarity is the foundation of discipline. Repeat this slowly. There is no transformation without clarity. You cannot build a new life on illusions. You cannot design structure on denial. To start from zero, you must first know exactly where zero is. Marcus Aurelius did not ask what he wanted to become. He asked whether he was living according to his principles today. That daily review was not punishment, but awakening. It was a mirror held up to the soul. And this is where you must begin, by observing your hours, your habits, your thoughts. Where does your time disappear? What do you do when nobody is watching? Which patterns repeat day after day? Define what most people are terrified to define, the future you refuse to live. This is your anti-vision. Picture clearly a life ruled by debt, mental disorder, impulsive habits, and years passing without purpose. Feel the weight of that road, not to sink into fear, but to build an inner boundary. The human brain reacts more strongly to pain than pleasure. That is why this image can be more powerful than any motivational quote. It is not about dreaming of success. It is about deciding what you are no longer willing to tolerate. Honesty is courage. To admit your weaknesses, to see your disorder, to acknowledge your wasted time. This is the end of self-deception and the beginning of responsibility. Discipline is not born from excitement. Discipline is born from a clear rejection of mediocrity. So before you move forward, stop. Look, observe. Write down the truth of your situation. Not what you wish it to be, but what it is. Because only the person who knows exactly where they stand can start from zero with strength and direction. Facing reality is uncomfortable, but it is liberating. It is the moment you stop lying to yourself. It is the moment you stop wasting life. And it is the first step toward making 2026 the year of discipline and clarity. Lesson 2. Build strong foundations. If you want 2026 to be the year you truly start from zero, you must first strengthen the ground beneath your feet. The Stoics were clear. No structure can stand on weak foundations. Dreams collapse when the basics are ignored. Before chasing lofty goals, secure the essentials: your body, your health, and your finances. These three pillars hold everything else in place. Your body is not vanity, it is responsibility. A neglected body becomes a burden, draining energy and weakening resolve. Exercise is not punishment, it is training for life. Each repetition, each step, each breath is a lesson in consistency. The Stoics saw the body as an instrument of character. When you strengthen it, you strengthen willpower. Without energy, discipline cannot survive. Health is the second foundation. Poor sleep, careless eating, constant speed, these habits erode clarity. Food is not just fuel, it is self-respect. Every choice you make is a message to yourself. I value my future, or I sabotage it. Attention and temperance, two Stoic virtues, remind us that caring for health is not weakness, but wisdom. Finances form the third foundation. Financial chaos breeds anxiety. Bills chasing you, debts piling up, choices shrinking. Money is not about greed, it is about freedom. Freedom to say no, freedom to think clearly, freedom to pursue purpose without constant fear. Financial discipline is a deep form of self-control. Disorder is expensive. Order is power. Ignore these foundations, and you sabotage yourself. Strengthen them, and you create stability. Stability is the soil where discipline grows. Dreams without energy, health, or financial order are fragile. But when the basics are secure, purpose becomes possible. So begin here. Strengthen your body. Protect your health. Bring your finances into order. Do it even when you don't feel like it. Because character is not built in moments of excitement, but in daily acts of responsibility. First stability, then purpose. That is how you start from zero and build a year that does not collapse. Lesson 3. Master your mind. You can strengthen your body, organize your finances, and even design routines, but if your mind remains chaotic, you will still be trapped. The Stoics taught that the greatest chains are not external, they are internal. A distracted, restless, undisciplined mind will sabotage even the strongest foundations. Think about the constant noise of modern life, the phone you cannot put down, the endless stream of notifications, the opinions of strangers flooding your attention. Most people live in reaction, not in decision. They are pulled by impulses, carried by emotions, and ruled by distraction. Epictetus warned that no man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom begins not with circumstances, but with control of thought. To master your mind, reduce stimulation. Cut down unnecessary noise. Limit the opinions you allow to enter. Every distraction weakens attention, and without attention, discipline collapses. Create daily moments of silence. Silence is not emptiness, it is space. Space where clarity returns, where you can hear your own reason again. Writing is another powerful practice. The Stoics wrote to themselves, not to impress others, but to organize the inner world. When you write, you take the weight out of your head. You see patterns, triggers, emotions, and you learn to respond with temperance instead of impulse. Observe your emotions without obeying them. Anger, fear, sadness, these are natural. But impulsive reaction is weakness. Breathe, wait, and choose deliberately. This is the essence of self-control. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That power is discipline. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of inner control. Mastering your mind means you stop being a prisoner of impulses and become the architect of your decisions. Without this mastery, every external achievement is fragile. With it, every challenge becomes manageable. To start from zero in 2026, you must reclaim your mind. Reduce noise, practice silence, write with honesty, and choose with temperance. Master your mind, and you master your life. Lesson 4. Act in silence. Real transformation is not loud. It does not announce itself with speeches, hashtags, or endless declarations. It happens quietly, in the unseen hours, when nobody is watching. The Stoics understood that virtue is proven in action, not in words. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that philosophy must be lived, not displayed. How many times have you spoken about what you will do, only to lose momentum before you begin? Announcing goals feels satisfying, but it is deceptive. Each time you talk too much about your plans, your brain receives a false sense of accomplishment. You feel progress without making progress. The energy that should fuel action is wasted in conversation. Progress is not announced, it is executed. Discipline is not performed for applause, it is practiced in silence. To act in silence means to keep promises to yourself when no one else knows. Wake up early even if nobody sees it. Train your body even if nobody congratulates you. Study, write, save money, clean your space, and build structure without seeking recognition. These small, invisible acts forge identity. They create trust between you and yourself. Silence strengthens willpower. Solitude, when used wisely, strengthens the mind. In silence, you discover whether your commitment is real or only performance. In solitude, you learn to act without external validation. This is not about isolation. It is about integrity. When your actions align with your principles, you no longer need witnesses. You no longer depend on applause. You become free from the opinions of others. The world is full of noise, full of people announcing, promising, and performing. But the ones who truly transform are those who act in silence. They build quietly, consistently, until one day the results speak louder than any words. To start from zero in 2026, stop announcing and start executing. Let your discipline be invisible until it becomes undeniable. Act in silence, and let your life itself be the proof. Lesson 5. Let go. To start from zero, you must first release what weighs you down. You cannot move forward while carrying the burdens of yesterday. The Stoics taught that clinging to what no longer serves us is the root of suffering. Epictetus reminded his students that freedom is not gained by holding on, but by letting go. Look closely at your life. Which relationships drain your energy instead of strengthening it? Which habits quietly destroy your progress? Which stories do you repeat to justify why you remain stuck? These attachments feel safe, but in truth, they are prisons. It is not the road that exhausts you. It is the weight you refuse to drop. Letting go is not weakness. It is courage. It is the decision to stop carrying what belongs to the past. Begin with one simple act. Identify a habit, a relationship, or an excuse that no longer serves you, and release it. Do not attempt to drop everything at once. Letting go is an art, not a tantrum. Each conscious release returns energy, focus, and clarity. Attachment is often fear disguised, fear of being alone, fear of starting again, fear of not knowing who you are without that thing. But here lies the paradox. The more you cling, the less you recognize yourself. The more you hold on, the less free you become. The Stoics understood impermanence. Everything changes, everything passes. To resist this truth is to suffer. To accept it is to be free. Seneca wrote that he who is brave is free. Courage is not only facing challenges, it is also releasing what chains you. Letting go does not mean loss. It means space. Space for discipline, space for clarity, space for growth. When you drop what no longer serves you, you create room for what truly matters. To start from zero in 2026, you must lighten your load. Release the habits, excuses, and attachments that keep you bound to the past. Letting go is not the end. It is the beginning of freedom. It is the doorway to the life you are meant to build. Lesson 6. Protect your energy. If you want to start from zero in 2026, you must learn to guard your energy as fiercely as you guard your time. Energy is the fuel of discipline, and without it, even the strongest intentions collapse. The Stoics compared the mind to a fortress. It must be defended, not left open to every distraction, demand, or influence. Think about how easily your energy leaks away. You say yes to commitments you don't want. You answer messages by impulse. You scroll endlessly, absorbing noise that adds nothing to your life. Each small leak drains focus, leaving you tired, scattered, and reactive. This is not bad luck. It is lack of boundaries. Protecting your energy begins with clarity. Decide what matters, and let everything else fall away. Set hours for work, rest, and reflection. Turn off notifications that fracture your attention. Learn to say no without guilt. A clear no today prevents resentment tomorrow. Boundaries are not rejection. They are respect. Respect for your time, your process, and your growth. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the soul becomes dyed by the color of its thoughts. If you constantly allow negativity, urgency, and distraction to enter, your inner world will reflect that chaos. But if you guard your energy, you create space for discipline, clarity, and peace. This practice is not selfish. It is essential. When you protect your energy, you preserve the strength needed to act with consistency. You stop living as a reaction to other people's urgencies and begin living according to your own principles. To start from zero in 2026, build boundaries that honor your discipline. Guard your time, guard your focus, guard your inner peace. Protecting your energy is not about isolation. It is about alignment. It is the decision to live deliberately, not reactively. Without boundaries, discipline collapses. With boundaries, discipline thrives. Protect your energy, and you protect your future. Lesson 7. Design structure. Motivation is fragile. It rises quickly, burns brightly, and then disappears. Structure is different. Structure remains. It is the invisible framework that holds discipline together when emotions collapse, when energy fades, when life becomes heavy. The Stoics understood that virtue is not practiced in moments of excitement, but in systems that guide daily action. Designing structure means creating order where chaos usually rules. Clear wake-up times, defined work blocks, intentional rest, and consistent reflection. These are not restrictions. They are anchors. They prevent you from drifting when the storm of distraction arrives. Without structure, every day becomes a negotiation with your weaker self. With structure, discipline becomes automatic. Think of structure as scaffolding. It supports you while you build. It saves decisions, reduces friction, and protects clarity. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the impediment to action advances action. Obstacles will come, but structure ensures you keep moving. This is not rigidity. It is stability. Structure is flexible enough to adapt, but strong enough to hold. It is the rhythm that carries you forward when motivation disappears. To start from zero in 2026, stop promising yourself change and start designing systems that make change inevitable. Build routines that protect your mornings, boundaries that guard your focus, and habits that reinforce your principles. Motivation fades, structure remains, and when structure remains, discipline thrives. Design your life so progress is not a question of willpower, but the natural result of the systems you have built. That is how you transform not just a year, but an identity. Closing section. Transformation in 2026. Starting from zero is not about erasing your past. It is about transforming it into wisdom. Every mistake becomes a teacher. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every day becomes a chance to practice discipline and clarity. The Stoics never promised an easy life. They promised a meaningful one. And meaning is born when you stop wasting time and begin living deliberately. 2026 will not be different simply because the calendar changed. It will be different because you choose to face reality, strengthen your foundations, master your mind, act in silence, let go of what no longer serves you, protect your energy, and design structure that holds you steady when motivation disappears. This is the path of discipline. This is the path of clarity. This is the path of freedom. If you walk it, you will not only change your habits, you will change your identity. You will become someone you can trust. And when you trust yourself, everything begins to align. Progress will no longer be a dream. It will be a daily practice. So let this not be just another video you watch and forget. Let it be your first conscious step toward the best year of your life. Write in the comments, I start from zero with discipline and clarity. Write it not for me, but for yourself. As a declaration, as a reminder, as proof that this year will be different. If this message gave you clarity, protect that momentum. Subscribe to Stoic Horology to keep walking this path with us. Like this video so it reaches more people. Comment to mark your decision, and share it with someone who needs to rebuild their life and start again. Start from zero. Make 2026 the year of your transformation.